Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Charlton Live, sponsored by PSF Steel Limited. My name is Louis Mendes, and on this fine Sunday morning, we'll be looking back at yesterday's remarkable away win at Leyton Orient. The Addicks trailing, going into added time and scoring twice to take all 3 points in what was a massive, massive game in the race for the League One playoffs. Joining me to look back at that result, first up, top right in her yellow away shirt, is Sue Gallop. How you doing, Sue?
Yeah, I'm good. Everyone keeps writing it. Big win, big win. I bet he didn't say that yesterday, did he?
No, I imagine he kept himself quiet after full time, poor old Reg. And also, bottom of the screen there in a yellow away shirt. I think I'm the only one in the Charlton Live group who doesn't own one of these shirts now. It's Terry Smith. How you doing, Tel?
Only one in the entire fan base this morning, I suspect. Yeah, no, good. As you would expect. Very good indeed.
Indeed, we are all very good. I did notice actually that there was quite a lot of these yellow away shirts in the away end yesterday. I've got a newfound fondness for it after the moment we saw in the yellow away shirt yesterday. So on today's show, Joe's asking if they didn't have it in your size, Terry.
Did he?
Yeah, and so on today's show, we'll hear the goals from Charlton TV shortly. We're going to hear, of course, the reaction from the Addicks boss, Nathan Jones, and from the scorer of the winning goal, Kane Ramsay. We want to hear from you guys as well. Morning, everyone joining us live in the chat. Jeremy, first one in there, as Sue said, saying big win. Big win. James saying what a game it was. Mike Salmons in there. All hell let loose in there. Gary, Sam, Steve. I mean, there's hundreds of you in there. I don't think I can shout out to everyone, but let us know your thoughts on yesterday's game. Just let us describe that feeling to us at full time. Because I'm just from where I was sat in the press box, that the moment that full time whistle blew, just watching this stream of these yellow shirts spilling across the pitch and coming out of the dugout right on full time, it was just a fantastic sight. And it must have been unbelievable in that way away end yesterday. It was so important yesterday. It's just one of those special moments. Let us know your views. Email studio@charltonlive.co.uk. You can tweet us at Charlton Live, or like I say, leave a comment in the live chat. What does that mean for our playoff hopes now? What do you think it means for Leyton Orient as well? You know, a third defeat on the spin for them. They were looking pretty for a victory, probably an undeserved victory, I think I'd say, going into added time for them, but we turned it around, and it just feels like a fatal blow, you know, for them. You know, that must put them on such a downer after that. Let us know your thoughts in the chat. Before we hear the goals, Tel, I want to ask you, because you had the same view as me of this stream of yellow shirts. Honestly, it's one of those things I don't think I'm ever going to forget, because I don't think I've seen an away end react like that for a while. I've definitely never seen a playing staff and bench. I can't remember the last time. Maybe Wembley, the spontaneous celebration at full time.
Yeah, I mean, I lost it a little bit, as you might expect, and you'll probably hear very soon. And yeah, you're right. I mean, I likened it, and it wasn't the same in terms of players going across to the fans. There was a moment during Lee Bowyer's season when we went up in the playoffs, for me anyway, Wickham away, when a sold-out away end kept believing, and we just turned up as a side. I mean, we'd been on a half-decent run anyway, but that was the moment I think that I felt, and quite a number of fans felt, that this could be a good season, a really good season. And so it proved at the end, and that's what it felt like to me yesterday. It felt that type of vibe, and watching all those players and staff and everybody just run across to that away end was superb. I lost it. I've got to be honest.
I bet some of the pubs, well, not necessarily in Leyton, I guess, because they're home fans only, but in and around Stratford after the game must have been something else. I was walking through Stratford Station, obviously like a couple of hours after the game, and I just saw a massive mob of Charlton coming down. And I thought, well, I bet they've had a good couple of hours celebrating that one. Right, let's have a listen to the highlights from Charlton TV. Our very own Terry Smith was joined by Steve Brown and by Greg Stubley.
Uses Sweeney on the overlap. Challenge comes in from Small, comes down to Kelman, and challenge was from Gillespie and then Anderson. Good block from the Pratley shot. Comes back to Brown. Oh, what a strike from range from Jordan Brown. It's a wonderful strike beyond Mannion. Nothing he can do about it. There's too much power on that. And Leyton Orient's second half start has rewarded them with a goal.
Yeah. and they've come out of the blocks and they haven't stopped until they've scored that goal. And they've dominated for 4.5 minutes, and it just goes to show that you've got to take advantage yourself when you're in dominant mood, and we were in the first 45, and it's come back and bitten us on the backside, because that's a wonderful strike.
Corner to Charlton. Gilbert with it. Sends it in. Deep one. Keeper can't get there, and the header comes in, and it's Gillespie for Charlton. Keely's incensed. He came out looking for the ball. He couldn't get there, and Macaulay Gillespie heads it home to bring Charlton back level.
Yeah, and it's no more than we deserve on the day. Let's be brutally honest with the chances we've created. It's the very least we deserve. And I'm not having what Keely's complaining about. He's come off his line. He's made an attempt. He's got nowhere near it. Unless a replay convinces me I've not picked up something. He's just got it horribly wrong. And it presents Gillespie with a header, a free header at the back post to draw us level. And it is absolutely no more than...
Movement in the box. As Gilbert delivers it. Keely this time comes again. And there's the header in! Charlton won it! It's Kane Ramsey to deliver the blow! Once again, Keely came for it and couldn't. And Kane Ramsey has won it for Charlton.
And he'll be the first to admit that isn't his best performance of the season by some distance. But there's your hero for the day.
What a turnaround here!
What is...
Once again, Keely came looking for the ball. He was certainly blocked, but was it a case of the keeper hitting the player rather than the other way around? That's certainly what the officials think. And Kane Ramsey on hand to bury the header. Keely looking for it. It was Godden with the challenge. And that one, compared to the first one, had more to it in terms of a block from Godden.
If League One has VAR, that's getting chalked off 100%. But we haven't, and it won't, and we win, or we're leading 2-1.
That goes the other way round. We're absolutely incensed, but it's Charlton who get the benefit, so it's happy days here.
Now, if Terry Smith thinks it might be a foul against Charlton, then we've got a problem here. But let's forget about that for now, Sue. We can talk about the football game, and we can talk about the set pieces. We can talk about all of that, and we will do. But I just want to go back to what that means, that moment of celebration at full time, that away end. Again, Tel mentioned it. We haven't seen it for a long time, but some of those lads that stayed in that away end for 20 minutes. Like we wrapped up on Radio London. I came downstairs and there was that away end was still half full and singing. It sounded phenomenal, and that is the indication that something is happening here. Those fans can sense it.
Oh mate, I'm getting choked up now. Just listen to it. It's like, oh, sorry. It's just unreal. Like I think like we've been saying for a long time, haven't we? Like we wanted our Charlton back, and I think we are getting it now. This is us. And I'm reading the comments about going back to Bo's tenure and that same feeling of the heart, the passion, like we were all buying into the same thing. And it's just like I think everyone at the moment, we're all on the same page. Like we're not this, like we've had those seasons where there's been a little bit of in the fan bickering and all of that, but we've really come together. And I think Nathan's done that. The team's done it. The lads, like they're all, you can tell. Like I've spoken to a few of the lads, and they're like they love being here, and you can tell they love being here, and just that passion that we've been missing for such a long time is finally back. Oh my God, I need tissues. Sorry.
Yeah, but I felt sorry, Ty, it doesn't really work on the internet. I'm concerned you keep those by your computer though. But it's the moment at full time. I mean, Pete said it in the chat. It says, "Morning, Louis, Sue, and Terry. Something's happening. My 9-year-old Isla completely lost her mind next to Kane Ramsey's mum." Yesterday, I'm guessing that must have been when the winner go, and it must have been special for Kane. I mean, you'll hear later on in the show about how he's a local boy as well. He was playing. He said it felt like effectively a home game. for him. But yeah, as Pete said, and the place was bouncing. I've not seen Charlton fans like that for a while. The togetherness on the pitch and in the stands was special. It seems like a club united in their belief. And again, when all those players ran to the fans at full time, it's to signify as well the importance of that result in this race, in this playoff race. Because if we'd done that result yesterday and we were both mid-table and it was nothing, we'd still be pretty buzzing, like, because to score twice in injury time away from home. And a lot of people, I can't remember us ever doing that for a win. I can't remember. People might remind me, but I can't remember that before. But to do it in a game of that magnitude, one that we definitely deserve to, I think we would deserve to win overall, if not at least a point. It's like it all came together at once. It was just an unbelievable moment.
I think we've had everybody around the club, and Nathan Jones specifically, talking about going on a journey and trying to bring everybody with the club on this journey. And I think most of us thought, well, that journey's probably that might take a couple of seasons. We'll get hopefully we can get something this season, but generally the journey is something that's could be a 3 to 5 to 5 year plan, for example. Well, it seems they put the afterburners on, and the journey's went on its way because, and I think that what happened yesterday, just as Sue said, we've all been desperate for good times for a little while, and not just about winning the league or getting promotion, but moments like that yesterday, where everybody's together and we drag out a result that we deserved. I agree with you, by the way. I thought the first half we were as in control as we were against Exeter, for example. They carried more of a threat, of course, than Exeter, but I thought we were largely in control. And didn't get the rubber to green, didn't quite, we were snatching at chances a little bit, and it looked like it was going to be a frustrating afternoon. And I think that added it to it as well, because we had played well, especially in the first half, and we looked like we might not get the rewards for that. But then to get it in like a 4-minute spell right at the end is something special. And it just shows that everybody connected to the club is so desperate for us to do well. And when it comes in that fashion, it's just an outpouring of emotion.
Yeah, and it really was. I mean, I still can't go. That image of those players running over at full time is going to stay in my head for a very, very long time. And that away end was just spectacular. Jamie says, great last minute win. It shows what the team shows that the team can keep going to the end. Gilbert has the precision and accuracy with the corners. Says, I didn't see what Anike offered when he came up, but the other subs were spot on. I mean, let's talk about the 2 goals. I want to talk about the game as well, because it didn't look like many of the games we've seen this season. I'll ask you about that in a bit. But Sue, the goals itself, we are now officially good at set pieces, and that has actually been the case for a while. I remember before we played Lincoln away, I put a stat out about how our XG from set pieces was quite high. But we've scored 15 goals from set pieces now, the stats show, which is the 6th highest in League One. Our XG from set pieces, I think, was about the 4th or 5th highest. It was certainly in the upper echelons as well. We still have to attack them. We still have to score for them. I think it helps that Alex Gilbert seems to have come in and found a level of accuracy that's probably taken us up to another level as well. I mean, let's talk about the first one. Considering the state of the game, and I think if we had lost yesterday, again, it wouldn't have been as bad for us as I think it is for Orient, because we've got the game in hand. We're not off the back of a couple of defeats like they were coming into the game, but it still would have been a bit of a blow to go 3 points behind Orient, in the table. So for Macaulay Gillespie to keep his cool at the last minute, like he did against Peterborough again, and to plant that header in the bottom corner was just fantastic. A great delivery from Gilbert, and Macca, he's come up trumps again.
Yeah, and again, I think we spoke about this when Macca scored the other week. I think like we were so desperate for Macca to show what a good player he is, and he was been getting pelters, hasn't he, for such a long time, and potentially rightly so. But I think it's so nice that a player like him now is getting the plaudits and showing why we got him in the first place. And I think, obviously we had the 2 that could have been as well. The keeper making those saves right on the line, which I'm sure Tel will go into more detail about. But it's nothing worse than celebrating a goal that ain't a goal. But yeah, I'm just delighted for Maka. And yeah, I guess it's like, again, it's just showing the quality in the squad that we are playing right till the 97th, 98th minute. We're not like, oh, it's got to 90 minutes, let's just whatever. It's like they are playing and giving it their all right until that final whistle. And I think when that goal went in, again, you go back to games like Jacko scoring against QPR and just like they're being absolute limbs, that you're like, even to celebrate a point away at Orient is such a different feeling. But then we end up going on to get the winner, which I know Tel was talk about the second goal, but it was just unbelievable. Like, these lads just don't know when to give up. And I think Nathan's instilling that sort of never say die mentality in them, and it shows with the fitness as well. We haven't been able to, seasons gone by, we haven't been able to do the 90 minutes in terms of fitness levels, and they're just like, just go up a gear. It's just quality. I love it.
Yeah, Ethan says that Maka has repaid that error at Blackpool now. He's paid it back with interest, hasn't he? He's done what he's had to do there. Paul says, humble guy, Maka, a grafter, so happy for him. And as all hell let loose said, how many of us wanted him gone in January? Well, or at least I think a lot of us said we at least need some backup for him to push him. And the poor old Tom McIntyre hasn't had a sniff really since then, because Maka's done so well. Let's talk about this winning goal then, Tel. I've watched it back from a few angles. I mean, the first things first, Keeley got man of the match about a minute before the end of the game, and then he dropped 2 clangers or 1.5 clangers, depending on which way you want to look at it. Now, he'd already done it earlier on in the game. Those 2 corners weren't the first time he came for a corner and missed it. Ramsay, I mean, you'll hear from Kane later on in the show, probably should have scored earlier on in the game when Keeley did exactly the same thing. I've watched it back. There's 1 or 2 angles where it looks worse, where it looks like I think Godden probably has lent in on him. If you watch it from behind the goal, it doesn't look as bad in real time. You know, Godden's maybe stepped forward, stood his ground a little bit. I can see why Richie Wellens thinks it's a foul. But interestingly, at the time, Josh Keeley weren't appealing for nothing, and none of those Leyton Orient players were appealing for anything. And Keeley came off after the game, and he was pointing, "This is my fault. This is my fault." So it's a grey area. Like I say, if Terry thinks it's a foul, then maybe it is a foul. But yeah, what do you reckon?
I actually agree with you almost 100%. The angles make a difference, because when it first happened, and bearing in mind, you said it again, he'd already dropped a couple. One which Godden's put over the bar, Matty Godden put over the bar, which we all thought was going to be the last chance. And the equalising goal for Gillespie, he did exactly the same thing. He came looking for a ball that he had no right to come for. And if he is going to come, he's got to knock everybody out of the way. His own players, our players, the whole lot. And he doesn't do it. And he starts complaining to the referee for Gillespie's goal, and there was no way that was a foul. There was nobody in front of him. He just couldn't get there. And I think that's in the referee's head. So when it comes to almost immediately afterwards for the second one, he's thinking, well, you've just done exactly the same thing. So it's still your fault. So no, it's not a foul. And we looked at it at 2 or 3 angles. And the first angle I saw it, I think I said on comms, you can't really tell whether the keeper's run into Godden or Godden's run into the keeper from the first angle I saw it, the replay. When I saw the second one, it definitely looked like Godden had leant in and like the body shape. So it's deceiving us, and we don't know what the referee's angle looked like from his eyes. And if he's seen it the way we saw it the first time, then he's just gone, well, you just come for it and got nowhere near it. The other thing, of course, is, yes, Matty Godden might have blocked him, but if he had no chance of getting to the ball anyway, that again, the referee's thinking, well, why are you doing it? You've come all that way. There's no way you'll get into it, even if he doesn't block you. So he let the goal stand. So I thought, I think the problem we've got is that officials, especially in League One, you'll have, if we have 10 games, 10 things, exactly the same thing happen, 9 referees will give a free kick. That's the, or maybe 7. I mean, because that's the, the inconsistency of officiating in League One, I'm afraid. But as I also said, who really cares?
Yeah, exactly. Because I mean, it's a subjective decision, and you are going to get different decisions from human referees. And I'm just very grateful that we had this particular human referee we did at the time. But like I say, there were referees that would see that and think there was nothing wrong with it, and you could argue are correct. So I'm not moaning. Massey says amazing. I got on the plane. The last thing I saw, it was 1-0 in the 85th minute. Landed at Gatwick. To loads of messages in the WhatsApp group. Couldn't believe it. I do wonder how many people left. I know one particularly prominent former manager left at 1-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Curves left at 1-0 and missed it. He was there, but because he must live around that way. I don't know, but he had to beat the traffic, and yeah, he left. The reaction after half time. So I thought, like, Orient had a couple of moments first half. I agree with Toe. I thought we were the better team first half, but it was a really weird game. There was spaces in areas I haven't seen spaces. We looked a little bit vulnerable on the turnover, which we haven't done too much, but also I think that's why Orient have been a good side this season and will still be a threat to that top six, because they've shown they can attack with a bit of pace, a bit of tempo on the turnover. They were sort of swarming. If you lost the ball, they'd swarm on you, and with a bit of pace. So I could see why they were good, but particularly at the start of the second half, I was warned by Dave Victor at half time that Orient had another level, and we saw that after the break. They came out really well, scored an absolute screamer, one of those where we got out to try and close it down. You're always going to say, oh, maybe we could have got there quicker, but to be fair, I'm not sure we could have. It was just an absolute screamer. I don't think Mannion could have got anywhere near that. Then they had another chance shortly after. I think it was Kayne who lifted the ball over the crossbar, and we had to play the pretend Mannion's injured card because we needed a reset. Sue, I was alongside Paul Parker yesterday, so former England international, knows the game, and he remarked. He said, to be fair, ever since they've done that, Charlton have settled themselves, and it worked. So we've moaned about it. Other clubs doing it. Other clubs have moaned about us doing it. It's proven to be one of our best tactics at the moment. If we need a reset, get Mannion or Maynard Brewer to sit down, and it just seemed to calm us down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, like you say, when it's been done to us, we've all been like fuming, but actually it's one of the things that's been working for us, and you do need that, even though like it's not long after half time, you need that reset and that just let's just regroup, calm, let's play our game. Let's not, because I think sometimes you have the danger of getting drawn into the opposition's play, and actually no, we just got to focus on ourselves, focus on our game and our strengths. I mean, I felt like watching it, I was like, and it's ironic that Kane actually scores the winner, but I felt like that was one of his quieter games. And that they seem to really like nullify those attacking options. Although it felt like we were in control, it was a back and forth game. Like it was a really exciting game to watch, and for a neutral, it was probably amazing. But yeah, I think just watching like the lads just after that like reset, then we see the performances that we've had like at our Exeter home game and those other games when we've really took control of the match.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually saying, what a win. Myself, my son and my daughter were jumping around in the front room like madmen after that. Gary says, I hope no refs are listening. Yeah, well, they're not going to learn anything from us. Luke says that Dave Victor needs to change his second name by deed poll for a week. Poor old Dave. He's such a gent, Dave, as well. I won't take the mick out of Dave. Hanky says, we were in the lounge after the game and Keeley came for his Man of the Match award. They were all fuming. That must. I wish you filmed that, Dan. That must have been one of the stranger sort of situations there. But I mean, that's I put in my piece today. Like I had every week, if I write these takeaways for Rich, I have to find the moan from the match. And I was up for about 3 hours trying to think for one from yesterday, and I just came up with they give out the Man of the Match award too early. I'd
just like to see if it was in the lounge if he's just blocked him off from getting it.
Yeah, Dan just coming in and just giving him the shoulder. Let's talk about the actual state of the game throughout the 90 minutes then. So as Sue said, it was a fantastic game of football for a neutral. Yeah, you talk about quality or whatever if you want. If you're some Man City fan coming to watch the best quality football, then you don't care about that. But in terms of the openness of the game, and both sides played their part in this. I mean, it was everything we built it up to be in terms of excitement. The only thing that I think we got wrong, because we thought it'd be exciting because of how tense it was going to be because of such a big game. But I think the thing I got wrong was just how open there was space on the wings, particularly for us, particularly in that first half. The amount of times on the left-hand side where Edwards or TC got in behind, I think it was Galbraith, there was a lot of space. Although, to be fair to Orient, they did sort of defend their 6-yard box well with the crosses when they came in. But and Orient, that's why I said earlier, Tal, it didn't feel like a game I've seen involving us too often this season. It felt really open, and yes, we were the better side, particularly in the first half, but it just didn't look like a Charlton type of game this season. Normally, if it's that open, it's us doing it all on our own, but Orient had that threat as well.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think they're a good side. Excuse me, they're a good side. As you can see, the voice has gone from yesterday. They're a good side. So then it comes down to the way both teams want to play them. And I think we, under Nathan Jones especially, have been quite open at times. We like to battle and press. And Orient have clearly got where they've got by doing a similar sort of thing. I thought that Mark Andy for them, which is I think one of the reasons why Kane Ramsey was a little quiet, was keeping Kane pressed back and keeping him honest. And so they got some good players. I think even though TC had a really good first half, I thought, and may have even been up there for our man of the match. Galbraith is a very good player. He absolutely tore us apart at times in the first game. I thought TC kept him quiet, as did Josh Edwards. So yeah, there were battles all over the place. You had in the first half, you had Anderson and Pratley going at it as often as possible. It was just an enjoyable game to watch in terms of, it's like a fast game of chess, if you like. In every sort of area of the pitch, there were battles, and nobody was getting really on top. I thought we bossed it mostly in that first half, but they still had a threat. As I said, that Mark Andy was really useful. Kelman finds space everywhere. He's a good player, especially at League One level. So I think going in at half time, I think 0-0 was frustrating because we had, one glorious chance. You called it a keeper's save. There was contention on the commentary gantry, by the way. Greg Stubley called it a good save from the keeper. Stevie Brown almost, if he could have ripped his mic off him, he would have done. He just said, Berry's 2 inches out. He can't hit it at his legs. He just can't. He's got to head it in the goal. So it wasn't a save. It was Berry missing it. So there was a little bit of disagreement, shall we say, in the commentary box at the time. And I tended to agree with Stevie Brown. I think Berry should have finished that, and he knows it, of course. And we had a couple of other opportunities as well. But it never seemed to... Even though we were playing really well, it didn't look like we were ever going to really sort of run away with it 2 or 3-0. It never looked like that type of game.
Yeah, it was strange, and I agree. I agree with you that Berry should have scored. That's what I said on our one. I was like, there was a lot being made of the bravery of Keeley to make that save, and he stayed down hurt after, didn't he? But yeah, Berry has to be scoring that. That's why it felt like it could end up being a frustrating game, because I was thinking, as we're going into that added time, I was thinking, I don't know how we're sort of going to sell this 1-0 defeat, because the magnitude of the result is quite difficult, but I didn't think we'd played badly at all, so it would have been a strange one. But yeah, we came out on the right side of it. Right, still plenty of your messages to come to, but this one from Tom I think is particularly timely. He says, I don't want to put down all the success to Wales, but a Welsh manager working a miracle on St David's Day, it's hard to see that being a coincidence. Well, I think we should hear from that Welshman right now. The Addicks boss, Nathan Jones. So yesterday's game was on Radio London, so Nick Godwin was down there with us as well. He started this interview with Nathan. I sort of picked up a couple of questions at the end.
Nathan Jones is live on BBC Radio London. Nathan, that was an extraordinary football moment, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Look, this put the context. Leyton Orient is a very, very good side. Richie's done a magnificent job here. The way they play, the threats, the quality they have, they're a very, very good side. So to come here and to play the way we did, I'm really proud. But then obviously to get the win, we started both halves poorly, and that's what put us behind. And look, it took a wonderful strike to beat us. But then after that, look, I thought we were well worth the win. The amount of chances we've had, the keepers had man of the match. We've missed chances, we've had situations, we haven't quite taken advantage of all those, and then it takes 90 odd minutes to win a game, and that's what it is.
Can you tell us about the process of that second half? Because you clearly weren't happy at the beginning. You were putting on more and more attacking players, and I suppose in the end it worked.
Well, look, we have a squad. It's a squad game. We have game changers, you know, in terms of coming off the bench. We've got quality coming off the bench, and they have a role to play when they come on. And then when you bring in on Chuck Saniki and Miles Lieben and Alex Gilbert and Greg Doherty, there's some quality, experience and real pedigree there. And look, and it showed. And one thing I was really pleased with, even when we got the first goal, we went after the ball to get it. And we wanted to win. We felt momentum was with us, and look, that's the mentality of the team at the minute. We want to win every game. Coming here and getting a point would have been a very good result, but we're not necessarily happy with that. And I'm just really pleased. One, with the manner of everything, and two, in the moment. Those are the things you enjoy.
It was a big goal at the end, a big finish, and then all the players and all the coaching staff over to the side where the fans are as well. Moments like that, I imagine, when you tell me, that will build such togetherness, such cohesion and positivity going into this massive end of the season.
Well, it will, but there's now pouring of emotion at the end. I mean, I got abused constantly by the Orient fans here. Some of the names I was getting called, so that's why the emotion came out for me. And we, as managers, you have to put up with that. You know, if I turn around and mention one of those names to a fan, then I'd probably 10-game ban. But I have to put up with it because that's society at the minute. So that where the emotion was. That wasn't me celebrating, you know, gratuitously in any way. That was the emotion. I had to put up with 90 minutes of getting called some horrific names. So then when you get the win, that comes back, and then that's the emotion, and that's why we do the job.
But everyone together, I mean, the whole team went. I mean, Will Mannion ran the length of the pitch at the end. There was a pile of bodies, and then with those fans, I haven't heard football fans in a ground at the end of the game for 15-20 minutes like that for a while. It just shows the possibilities perhaps that this club has got.
Well, no, what we've tried to do is bring everything together. So, you know, from the hierarchy and the owners and the board to the staff, to the players, everyone together, and then uniting all the fans around is something they can believe in. They believe now that they have a football club that can go somewhere, a football club that's returning to somewhere near the resemblance of what it used to be, and we want to bring all that together. And then these are the moments that you can really sort of galvanise that, really put the glue into all that work when there's moments like that to celebrate. And it showed that the team, the squad, the whole football club is together, and you have to enjoy these moments because this is a big win. These are a good side. These are there and thereabouts, you know, in terms of that. So to beat one of your rivals away from home in the manner that we did, sometimes emotion takes over. And if I offended anyone by that, I apologise. But no, look, everything was meant in good faith.
And you have 3 days, and it all goes again. I mean, that's the extraordinary thing about what could happen in the next few weeks.
Well, it's English football, you know. You don't get any time whatsoever to enjoy a win, a result, a performance, or anything because you're in tomorrow, you're working hard, and you have to go again.
Nathan Jones, live on BBC Radio London. Really appreciate it. Well done today. Thank you very much indeed.
Nathan, just psychologically, how could that affect both sides against a game like that?
I have no idea, and I don't want to comment on anyone else apart from us. You know, for us, what I really liked about us was the mentality that, you know, we kept going, we kept believing we could get a result. And even after we scored, we didn't then go, right, we're happy with the point away from home. We went, got the ball, came back, put it on the centre circle and said, right, we want to go again. And I think that mentality sort of saw us through in the end. So look, I'm really pleased because it's a big win. However you win today, it's a big win, but I thought the performance levels were there today as well. These are a good side. You know, when you turn the ball over, these are at you with pace, with tempo, and look, I thought we were excellent. I really do.
You could see today why they were up there as well. And the 2 goals coming from corners. Obviously, you've been working with your set piece coach over the last few weeks again, because that's becoming a bit of a recurring theme.
Well, I had him in headlock at half time because I didn't feel we had that conviction in our set plays first half, and we'd had a lot. I think we had 7 or 8 first half without having any outcomes, you know. And the second half, then obviously a different taker, but just to win from 2 set plays. I was delighted. I don't care how we win. I really, really don't. So it's just good to get the win.
And just finally, again, on the journey this side's been on this year, that togetherness at the end, you compare it to where Charlton were 3 months ago to where they are now with the fans, and that momentum's going to really help for the rest of this campaign.
But what people have to realise is it's a 9-month, 10-month season. So you have ups, you have downs, you have moments. Very rarely do you go through a season unless you're Liverpool, like or a Barcelona or something where you are just on a forward. Sometimes and we're building. We're new. It's 9 new players where we were last year, right? We you know, I came in last year and there was a lot of fear around the club to go down a division. Now we're looking to get out of this division, but at the right end, not the other end. So it takes time to do that, and sometimes you have big moments, sometimes you have poor moments. It's how you react and how you learn. But I think you can see now the work that's been done, the togetherness of the squad, the quality of the squad, where the club wants to go. It's there. It's in. You know, we're a good side, and we've had to be a good side today. So yeah, we're different from 3 months, but in 3 months I expect us to be totally different from what we are now as well. And then in further 3 months, exactly the same. So if I'm doing my job properly, then we progress, we keep moving forward, and that's what I get paid to do.
PSF Steel Limited is a trade supplier of steel fabrication and erection services to the new build, construction and refurbishment market in southern England. With their unrivaled depth of experience, they excel at providing their customers with high quality and cost-effective steel fabrication solutions. Their customers include national and regional house builders, such as Barratt Homes, Bellway Homes, the Vistry Group and Taylor Wimpey. They pride themselves on their service-based ethos and commitment to customer service excellence, which includes full technical backup and on-site services and support. If you would like more information, go to www.psfsteel.co.uk. That's www.psfsteel.co.uk.
Hello fellow addicts, I'm so excited to tell you all about our micropub, the River Ale House. The River Ale House is based in East Greenwich. It has 6 Pub of the Year awards, an ever-changing selection of amazing beer. It's owned by Charlton fans, walkable to the ground in just 20 minutes with buses that go direct to the Valley too. If your matchday routine includes a drink with your friends, you must join your fellow addicts in the River. See you soon.
Right, welcome back to Charlton Live. Just for the break there, we heard from the Addicks boss, Nathan Jones. It was funny that he said he had James Brain in a headlock, our set piece coach. But I mean, so I didn't see this, but so people were telling me that James was encouraged to do the free cheers at the end with the fans, which I think was brilliant because, as I said earlier, like the set pieces have improved, you know, and it's become a big play. 15 goals. That's a not insignificant number of goals for us to be scoring from set pieces. So I'm glad he got some recognition for that. Obviously, Nathan's keeping him grounded by giving him the odd headlock every now and then. But yeah, that was good to hear. Right, the chat has exploded with demands to see the graph. I felt like such a square putting that graph out at full time yesterday because it was about the moment in the celebration as well. So no, let's have a look at the numbers. But yeah, as you'd expect, I'll just share it very quickly. Oh, it's very small on my screen. Let me try and zoom in a little bit. The graph is looking spectacular. Charlton currently, as it stands, are looking at over 78 points on their points per game ratio. But I think again, the most important thing is if you look at the line. If you're watching on YouTube or if you haven't seen it, I mean, the projection from about sort of December and the trajectory of that line is just an upward one, and it shows the form that we've been on over the course of the last 3 months. You know, I spoke to Nathan there about the journey. I really struggled to get my head around it, but I mean, Nathan's obviously always believed in the process and the journey, and it's played out for him, and he must be absolutely delighted. Now all hell will let loose. Asked me on Twitter yesterday, and I did think I'll sit down and do the numbers. And he's just asked, "Can we reach second?" So I haven't done anything that we can really share on screen. I've just done a very quick number. I think in terms of getting for second statistically, on average, I think you're looking at about 90 points. So that is a lot of points. And for us to get there, 90.3 has been the average over the last 10 or 11 years. And currently, we're on 56 points, I think, at the moment. So we need to get 34 points from our remaining 13 games. So we need to win 10 or 11 of 13 games. So that is difficult. What I haven't done is checked what rate sort of Wycombe are going at the moment, or whoever's going to end up second is. So it's a big ask. You never know. But I think let's concentrate on finishing in the playoffs, and if we get anything above that, it's a bonus. What did you make of what Nathan had to say after the game there, Sue? He sounds like he was getting a bit of stick from the Orient fans. He seems to get a bit of stick wherever he goes. I think that's just the way he wears his heart on his sleeve winds fans up, and I'm sure there's been loads of managers who've wound us up like that. But when he's your manager, feels good, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, as you know, I've made no secret of the fact that I absolutely love him. I love listening to him. I love his passion. I think we've been missing that for a long time, and I think. Yeah, it's sad to hear that he gets as much grief as he does. And it's like, I think when you think, I can't remember what the saying is, but it's effectively lots of clubs would want him as their manager, and I think there's a level of jealousy there. But as well, yeah, like some of his interviews and stuff, people have this opinion of what he is as a person, which isn't the case. And I find it sad that people have to use that to try and get to us. And actually, I think he uses it as a big motivator to prove people wrong, whatever they think about him. And again, I love that emotion. I got choked up listening to him, listening to how much grief he got and that emotional response that he showed at the final whistle. He's not a nasty person. He's a really lovely, kind-hearted person, and he cares so much. And that's when it shows, that emotion and that passion comes out when you have those moments. And it's like, I can't be prouder of him for the job that he's doing and showing why we got him in the first place. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say those building blocks that he's put in, like the process he's obviously believed in, and the way the playing style has evolved over the course of the season. It's a lot of the stuff that the fans were picking up on, in December, saying that these are what we need to happen. But Nathan has done it, and we've been reaping the rewards. Someone said in the chat earlier about the fans, the Orient fans must have been giving. Yeah, Luke said the players must have been getting some abuse as well, because they were giving it to the Orient fans when we scored. I don't know if anyone saw TC giving a bit back and then falling over one of our own players. That was quite funny as well. But yeah, brilliant. So Dean says, so this is a bit of research I haven't actually done. He says he doesn't think second will finish on 90 points this season. Like, it's an average, so it could be higher, could be lower. Also, it's hard to predict, but let's just keep an eye on the graph, and if the second line needs to come out, it will come out. I forgot to mention actually yesterday as well, while we were standing pitch side, me and Nick waiting for the interviews. Stephen Henderson asked me how the graph was looking. So the squad have got an eye on it. Trust me, the staff are keeping an eye on the graph as well. They're obviously, I imagine that's on one of the whiteboards in the training ground. Nathan's probably tracking us against my graph. Tel, what have you made of the job that Nathan's done, Tel, and the journey that he's been on from where we came from to where we are now?
Yeah, first off, I think it wouldn't be surprised if the next time they're getting a bit of stick in the dugout, they just, at the end of the game, you just turn around and show your graph to the fans that are giving us some abuse. And by the way, and that last comment, I agree, actually. I mean, we're only 8 points off Wickham in second place. 8 points. How far were we off 9 games ago? Even sixth place. So
when it gets down to 5 points, I'll be adding that line to the graph.
Okay.
I did make that decision.
I just tend to agree that I think, and I get the graphs, and I get looking at the way, because if we're on the trajectory we end up with something like 80 odd points. I don't think second place will be anywhere near 90 points this season, not even close, because Birmingham are running away with it and the rest are all falling apart in patches. So it could be a lot lower edge, but that aside, who knows? But what was the question again?
The job that Nathan's done.
Oh yeah. Look, he came in at a very difficult time last season when we were as he said, staring the unthinkable in the face of going down another division, and he came in and stabilised things and he made a side difficult to beat that looked so easy to beat before he arrived. So that was the first job, and he did it, and then he's got a job to do by buying in players, bringing in players that will improve us, and that takes time. I think now we're seeing how good the likes of Greg Doherty is, the likes of even Luke Berry, and players like him. How important Lloyd Jones has been in improving as a defender. We mentioned Macaulay Gillespie, who looks a different player alongside Lloyd Jones and Kane Ramsey, and so that doesn't happen by accident. It happens because they're coached well, they're managed well, and I think Sue touched on it earlier. The fitness levels, we've got a fully fit squad to choose from. When was the last time that happened at this point of the season? It's a lot of things that have to come together at once, and Nathan Jones is the catalyst for that, and the manager that should take all the credit for it. If he's going to get stick, and he did for when we were average at best at times, and when we were making mistakes, and when the players still hadn't got together properly, and he had injuries to deal with, then you've got to give him every praise on the planet, and the other way around. It's got to work that way. You can't be a critic on one point and then just say, "Oh, it's luck." No, it's not. It can't be luck. You don't go on the form and on the run that we've been on through luck. It just doesn't happen. It's not possible. So there's got to be reasons for that, and he's the manager, so he should take the credit.
Yeah, you can win 3 games by luck. You can't win this amount of games by luck. Right, I'm going to touch on some of the emails. We've got loads in. You can tell we're doing well because I've got someone asking me if I can help them out with some tickets for Stockport away in the emails. I'm the last person.
I thought you was going to say spreadsheets then.
Yeah, no. Unfortunately, I'm the last person who can help you with tickets, Josh. But yeah, no. I wish I could help, mate. But yeah, loads of people going to away games at the moment, which is great to see. McSquared said it was a fantastic win yesterday. It was probably our most important of the season. Losing wouldn't have put paid to our playoff push, but beating one of the other main contenders has certainly increased our chances. Once again, we scored at the death, and this time it was at the double. What a luxury to be able to bring on the likes of Miles, Chucks, and Doherty from the bench. David said, David sent me that stat. So we're talking about late goals. In terms of added time goals this season, we've got the most in Europe. It seems Europe's top 5 leagues and the EFL, we've got 10 goals in added time. So we've comfortably got the most in the last 15 minutes of games in League One as well. But in added time, we've scored 10. And just below us some 9 some minnows I've never heard of called Atletico Madrid. So it's about time we put them in their place. Gary says a fantastic result yesterday. He thinks we got away with a foul on the keeper for the second goal, but who cares? Needed that bit of luck. Onwards to Tuesday. Now, can we catch Wickham for second place? Who knows? I'm not getting carried away. Right, let's hear from Kane Ramsey, the scorer of yesterday's winning goal. His first goal for the club, of course. Again, Nick Godwin starts this interview. I'll pop up with a couple of questions at the end.
We're live on Radio London. Would you mind speaking to us, Kane Ramsey, after what was a remarkable winner? Just first of all, could you take us in that dressing room? What's it like in there? Because the celebrations afterwards were quite something.
Yeah, I think we all know what this game meant to us, and getting 3 points here is massive, considering where we are, and we're pushing for it. And I think when we've gone in, we all just started screaming, just cheering, screaming, loud music. It's what it means. It's what it matters.
The moment at the end there with the fans was special, wasn't it? Because at the full-time whistle, everybody from the benches here tore across the pitch. You were all there. The fans were making a racket for, minutes and minutes and minutes after the game as well. That they are special moments.
They've been loud. They've been loud all game, loud all season. Brilliant. We appreciate the support always.
Just take us back to that moment, could you? Because obviously Charlton had forced a corner and scored, then forced another corner. What were you thinking there and then?
I think when the first one for Macca's goal, I think I was nearly on it, and then the keepers fell and Macca scored, and I'm like, I'm going to make the same run again. And luckily I'm seeing it coming, and then it's just gone past the keeper. I was like, this is mine. I just concentrated and scored. What a feeling. Second professional goal of my career, first goal for Charlton.
Second professional goal, and it was in the 97th minute of the game as well. I mean, the game could have stopped, but I suppose with the celebrations for the first goal, he adds on an extra 30 seconds and gives you the chance to score the winner. Remarkable, really.
Amazing. What a feeling. There's no better feeling in football. This is what we're here for. This is what we dream for. This is what we love.
No, I don't want to take you back to the moment where you could have scored your first professional goal. So there was a big moment earlier on, wasn't there? Tell us about that one.
I think it's fell on my head, but I think I closed my eyes last second and I'm just 50p over the bar.
Yeah, you almost got under the crossbar and yet it goes over. But I mean, it's testament to you and the team that didn't knock the way you handled the end of the game, because that, I imagine for some footballers that could have stuck in your mind, but you managed to just get on with the rest of it.
No, of course it shows the character we've got, that I've got, the team, the way we're playing, the way the gaffer's got us playing. And I think to the last minute we'll keep going. We showed many times this season we can keep going all the way to the game's not 90 minutes long. You've got added time. You just got to keep going.
What was it like at 1-0 down? Because obviously the extra strikers being thrown on, you kept going. How difficult is it to keep believing as the game goes on into extra time?
It's hard, but when you get the first one and you can see there's still 3-4 minutes left, it's like there's still a chance. And when we got the corner, we're all going for it. Everyone's in the box. We're all going for it. All it takes is one chance and it's a goal, 3 points.
And then a pile of bodies at the end. Your goalkeeper ran the length of the pitch to join in as well. Yeah, they were all in. I think you were at the bottom of the pile.
I couldn't breathe. I was right at the bottom. God is just holding me. I was like, oh my gosh, get me off.
Wow. And I mean, it sets you up very nicely. You're now back into the playoff spots. You've got big games. There's another huge game on Tuesday as well. How does it feel to have a bit of momentum at this crucial stage of the season?
I think there's not a better time to do it, especially now going into March now. I think there's 13 games left. We just got to, game by game. We play on the 5-game structure. We just got to keep going and keep picking up as much points as possible. Every game is winnable, to be honest. We just got to show the right desire, right character, like we did today, and just keep pushing.
Am I right in saying you come from around the corner as well? Is that right?
I literally live 6 minutes away. I grew up there. This is my first time playing at the stadium, but this is my home. This is me playing at home.
How does that feel to do this today?
It's amazing. I said to myself last night, today, if there's a day you're going to score, it has to be today. This has got to be it. And to get the winner on the 90 plus minutes, amazing.
You have conducted this interview with the biggest grin I've seen from a football on your face for a long time. Thank you very much indeed, Kane Ramsey. Great to talk to you.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it.
There we are.
Did you have friends and family here then to see that as well?
Yeah, everyone was here. Family and girlfriend were here.
Yeah. And in terms of the race for the playoffs, how important was that today?
I think it puts us in great stead. We've got a massive chance now. We just got to keep going. The game's gone now. Move on to Tuesday. Move on, and on Saturday, just keep going. And
the fact it's a rival for the top 6 as well. We saw what threats they had in that game, how dangerous they can be. What does it say that Charlton can come here and win?
Yeah, for sure. Credit to them. They've been very good this season. They've had a good momentum, good spells, and I think it shows that how much of a team that we've grown since when I've come in till now, how much we're pushing, how much we're believing, and we can actually got a chance and do it this season.
And I just want to ask about Thierry Small. He's been playing alongside you out on the right wing back. I mean, he's been a revelation in that position for the ADDICKS.
Yeah, for sure. He's very attacking. I love playing next to him. It's like we've got 2 athletic people on my side, and it's like not really. You don't really want to play against that. It's hard to deal with, and it's what we keep improving. The more I play with him, the more he plays with me. We get to know each other's game more, and just keep going. He's a great kid.
And finally, got to go again on Tuesday after all the energy expended in those celebrations.
Thierry came in and said, "I'm tired. I can't." But no, Tuesday we'll go again.
There we go, Kane. Looking ahead to the game against Barnsley on Tuesday, but we do have to go again. But Sue, Kane spoke about the manager there, the belief that he puts into his side. I was asked this question yesterday by Phil, and he was sort of saying, like, how does Nathan affect the individuals as well? So I was thinking of that video, obviously, because Lloydie stayed and signed, and that video of Lloydie at full time at Bolton, and the way Nathan goes up to him and says, "You're my boy. You got to stay." Like he almost seems to sort of garner this family unit at the club, and that puts that belief into the squad, and they love him. All of them seem to absolutely love him, and I think that's quite significant. The man management, because you've got to do your tactics, you've got to do that, but you got to do your man management as well. And Nathan, speaking to the players, Nathan seems to do that really well.
Yeah, I think that was always going to be. That's always been a strength in his character. Even with like the younger lads, as we know, when he won the league with our development squads, like any player that works with him seems to just adore him. And I've asked some of the lads as well, it's like, what's it like? And it's like, it's almost like the parent that you want to please, like, because when you get the praise and the recognition for the good job you get, like he does it so well. But then when you are struggling, he's the one that will pick you up and give you a hug and try and like, right, don't worry, let's do it again. And I think sometimes lads need that they need that sort of fatherly figure within the dressing room that's gonna like pull them up when they're down, but also really celebrate those accomplishments and instill that level of belief. Because again, like we've said it time and time again, some of those players that we've looked at that we were like, oh, why did we sign them? Look at them now. Maka, like, what an example of that. He's going from strength to strength. Connor Coventry, players that we were like not seeing the best of, that over time Nathan's been able to instill this confidence and belief that is now making them play to the best of their abilities. And I still think there's more to come from this squad with Nathan in charge, because they are such a good group of lads. They've got a real bond, like you can see it, like you're saying, with the celebrations at the end. Like they're all celebrating each other's accomplishments, and it's it's amazing to see, and I just think that's Nathan in a nutshell.
And for Kane as well to score on his home turf, Terry. That, I mean, like as Nick said, he was absolutely beaming throughout the whole interview, which it was just a great moment. But for him, it must have been particularly special to score within 6 minutes of his house. As someone pointed out, Alan pointed out, 6 minutes, the same amount of time we had of injury time to go and score those 2 goals. He could have just gone home instead.
I reckon if there hadn't been a barrier or the stand hadn't been closed, he'd have probably ended up in his back garden with the celebration. He was that close. Yeah, and funnily enough, I was lucky enough to talk to Kane and have a little interview with him a couple of months back, just after Josh Edwards had scored his goal. And he was gutted that Josh Edwards had got in there before him to get his first goal for the club. He said, I can't believe Josh has beat me to it. He said, so I've got to do something about it. And what a time to do it. What a way to do it as well. And in your own patch and on your own turf, pretty much with your family there, it's anybody who's played football, anybody who's a fan, anybody who's been a player, scoring goals like that, and especially close to home with your family watching, it just must be the pinnacle. Do you know what I mean? It's, as I say, it's the reason you play football. It's the reason you watch football for moments like that. And we're eulogising, of course we are, because of the way it happened. If we'd have got the second goal in the sort of 60th minute, and then there was 30 minutes of an absolute bore fest, we probably wouldn't be quite as excited now. But that's why football's such a lovely sport to watch and be part of, because things like that could happen yesterday.
Yeah, and like, as I reiterated earlier, I can't remember that ever happening. I can't remember scoring 2 goals in added time away from home to win a game. We've had extra time, like the people were talking about the Leeds playoff final in '87, but I can't remember in a normal game in normal time like that. It's incredible moment. One of the very best we've had for a while. Planty saying I think the full-time scenes say that Nathan was correct to streamline the squad in January. Seems so tight and playing for each other. We have got to go again. We've got Barnsley on Tuesday. It's probably they always say, don't get too high, don't get too low after moments in football. And the reason being, because you've got to go again. I mean, I'm clearly quite struggling with not getting too high after yesterday, Sue, but that's a big game, Barnsley. They're a little bit behind, but they're in and around it. We had that strange game against them earlier on in the season where we went 2-1 up in what was supposed to be the last minute, and then it turns out there was another one that we could concede in, but that was a bit of a freak game. How do the players pick themselves up to go again, having expended all that energy? And especially remember that Nathan not one for ringing the changes after a win.
Yeah, no, I think the thing is, and I think we talked about it on Thursday, didn't we? It's like you've got to keep the momentum up, but you can't that energy that they would have used up not only during the game yesterday, but also the adrenaline that you get from that feeling at the final whistle. It's like, how do you then make sure that you're not too tired for Tuesday night? And I don't know whether we'll see a couple of changes in the lineup. I would hope not, because I think, again, we've got the momentum. Why would you change a winning side? But again, that's where Nathan's real art of being a manager is then managing those minutes for those players that might be a little bit tired. And we have got a bench that of game changers. Whoever's on that bench, we've got game changers on it. So I think one of the biggest things, I think, and I said it yesterday, we need to get, if you can get there Tuesday night, get there. Them lads need that energy from us as a fan base, and it will carry them over the line. It does make a difference. No matter what you think, it does make a difference. So, yeah, that's my passionate plea. Please get there Tuesday night if you can, because I think they're going to need that, because there will be a bit of tiredness after yesterday, and we can give them that extra boost that they need if and when it's needed.
Lovely stuff. And then just before we end the show, I mean, it's a team selection question. So I mean, before the game yesterday, I might have been a bit surprised that Anderson, like Doherty, didn't come back in. And that Anderson did well, last weekend. But I just wondered, there's a decision to make. Shiny Phil, I'll put this to you, Tel. Then, so Gilbert So these set pieces have been different gravies, look good coming on. Would you consider starting him ahead of Berry on Tuesday? It's one of those questions I ask you, and you go, I'm glad I'm not the manager.
Yeah, exactly that. That's a tough one. I think one change I would possibly make is Doherty coming back in for Koroya, even though Koroya's played superbly well. I think Doherty showed yesterday when he came on that experience and that wise head and got in amongst Orient and shook him up a bit. So I think I wouldn't be surprised to see the Doc back in, but I don't expect to see Gilbert straight in, if I'm honest. Would I have a problem with it? No, not at all, because you can see the quality he's got. I mean, the 2 deliveries, 3 assists now when you think about it. 3 crucial assists he's given to us since coming on. But would I change it? No, because I don't think Luke Berry's done anything wrong either. So, and I think Nathan, as Sue said, has got a habit of keeping the same side if they're doing well and making little tweaks here and there, but generally. And I think he said, certainly said on the Charlton interview after the game, he's a little bit unhappy because he's having to leave players out. Daniel Kanu had done nothing wrong, and he's not even in the squad because he's got to fit players in. So Alex Mitchell's another one. So there's players who are not getting game time that he's unhappy about, but you can't change a squad that's doing as well as we are. So I think little tweaks, possibly, major ones, no.
Lovely stuff. Tash says, I've seen Barnsley fans saying if we can beat Charlton, we're going up. How times change. Tash, of course, now banished from the country, considering the good run we've been on since she left, and she will never be coming back. Right, we've run out of time for this week's Charlton Live. Absolutely flown by. It's been brilliant to remember or to look back at yesterday's game. It really was one of those spectacular moments, Charlton moments, turning it around twice, scoring twice in added time to win a game against a direct playoff rival, a London derby, an exciting game. The support was unbelievable. The celebrations were fantastic. It was really, really special. Now we've got to draw a line under it and go again on Tuesday against Barnsley. Massive thanks to everyone who's joined us live in the chat this morning. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can enjoy more shows like this, hopefully, for the rest of the season. Also, hit subscribe on your podcast apps so you never miss another show. CharltonLive.etsy.com if you want to buy a Charlton Live mug as well to celebrate the good feeling around the club at the moment. Sue and Terry, it's always a pleasure, but it's been a particular pleasure to speak to the pair of you this morning.
Cheers, thank you as well.
Lovely stuff. I'm Louis Mendes. This has been Charlton Live, sponsored by PSF Steel Limited. Don't forget, we'll be back on Thursday to look back at the big game against Barnsley and look ahead to another big game against Stockport County. We shall see you then.
Charlton Live.